Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back to Poorboys Little Homestead. As always, if this is your first time here, thanks for dropping in. Feel free to drop in anytime you feel, my friend. Guys, today I have another little box right here from AUTOSAVER88. And this here is going to be another light bar. Now, I know some of you that's been watching my videos, y'all just seen me do a light bar installation on my tractor. But this light bar here is just a little bit different, and I'm going to be installing it right here on the front of my Nissan Frontier Pick-Up. It comes in the box, wrapped good in the foam package there. And guys, these are good heavy duty lights. These ain't light plastic made lights. These are made of good aluminum heavy grade lights. They come with your 8-foot wiring harness with your inline fuse and your power switch and a relay already wired up, and we're gonna get to that after a while when we start wiring this light up. It comes with your brackets, your corrosion resistant screws and nuts, and a little Allen wrench that fits them. And guys, these brackets that come with these lights here are good thick metal brackets. They ain't them little thin, made of real thin flimsy. These here is good thick heavy duty. Like I said, I just installed one of these on my tractor, and I'll attach a video above if you want to go back and watch that. But the difference in these lights right here, this here's a, like I said, they come from AUTOSAVER88. And this one here is the Auto LED light bar. It's 22 inches long, but when you put the brackets on it, it makes it 24 inches long. But this one here is the curved. It's called the curved auto work light. It's 200 watts, 20,000 lumens. It's IPA 68 waterproof. It's got the fish eyes lens, which is good for anti-glare. It's got spot and flood combo beam lights inside it. And on the back here you see these fins. That's heat shrink fins. Helps reduce the heat of the lights on the inside. Now these lights right here, these are good lights. These curved ones like this are good for your vehicles, trucks, boats, SUVs. Like I said, even on your tractor. Now after I install this one on my truck, we're going to do the installation here. Wire it up and get it ready, and then we're going to get out here at night and show y'all what type of light it puts off versus the one I put on my tractor the other day. And I may attach within this video a clip of the one I put on the other day with the light showing at night versus the light shining at this one. But guys, like I said, these are good heavy duty lights. They from AUTOSAVER88. If you're interested in any of them, after you see the installation and the review and my feedback I give you on it, there'll be a link in the description below, an Amazon affiliated link, and also will probably be a discount code attached down there. So let's get over here and let's start mounting this baby. But I think I'm gonna mount this light right here. I'm gonna center it up right above that license plate cover. And that's what she's gonna look like. Now, depending on what you're gonna mount it on, you'll have to determine where your brackets is. But behind this plastic on this truck, there's certain areas there. I may not be able to mount it where I said. I was wanting it mounted right there. I actually may have to mount it right here. We finna see. If it'll line up with that piece of metal right there, I might can put it right here. But when you start mounting it, that's where you're gonna have to figure out on your own and what you're mounting it on, where you can mount it. Because you don't want these screws just going through this plastic, because all it'll do is sit there and vibrate and it'll break off, fall off going down the road. So you want to make sure your brackets is fastened to something metal. So I'm going to take a moment and see how I'm going to mount this, and then when I get back to y'all, we'll be installing it where I want it. And then we're going to pop the hood and run our wiring, and I'll show y'all what to look for if you're putting it on a vehicle, where to go through your firewall and all that good stuff. Now guys, I think I got this figured out where I want it. There's a metal bracket back here. But now I had to have my own little bolts, because I had to have some longer ones, and I hope they're long enough. If they ain't, I may have to go scratch out some more. But we're going to try to drill a little hole. I'm going to start out with a little hole first through this plastic and see if I can drill through that little metal bracket. Alright, now I'm going to move up to the next size bit, size of my bolt. Bolt's gonna be just right, guys. Also, normally when you mount these lights, you would want this bracket flipped this way so your bolt would be behind the light like such. But for mine to line up with them little metal brackets on my bumper, I'm gonna have to turn mine outwards like that, and the tab, the little bolt here, is going to be sticking on the outside of the light. But I have to do it like that in order to make it hit where them two little metal brackets are back there. So I'm going to go on and install my L piece on this one so I know exactly where to get that hole. I got it, it worked out. I got lucky that this worked out even by flipping these brackets. You want to make sure to put your little lock washer on there so it won't vibrate loose, because this light's going to be doing a lot of vibrating while you're driving up and down the roads and such. And this is all by feel because I can't get back there and see. But like I said, guys, and this is going to be, everybody's situation is going to be different on where you mounting this. Now we're going to put this bracket on this end. Just for temporary. So I can mark it in the right spot. I'm gonna hold that up there. And we're gonna mount that right there. And I got this one on wrong. I need this one flipped that way. That's why I didn't tighten it all the way up until I get everything situated. Now, that looks more center. We're going to take our marker right here and we're going to mark where we want that hole. I'm gonna take my little drill bit again, and we're gonna drill right through there. Take our big drill bit. And we got that hole. This one here ain't want to line up for me. But I got her whooped. Let's see if we can tighten this one up. Now I'm gonna leave them, I ain't tightening them all the way up until I get my light mounted. Now when you put your light on there, guys, it comes with some short screws and some long screws. You're gonna want the short screws to mount your light to the bracket. You got a washer that goes on your screw, and then you got this star washer. Now the star washer is gonna go between your bracket and your light. And then it comes with the pack, comes with a little Allen wrench to tighten these up with. Now this is where when you get out there at night, you may have to loosen these off and adjust your light to where you want it or need it, however you prefer it. So that includes the installing of the light. I'll come back and I'll tighten them back bolts up a little bit more. We're gonna start running our wiring harness, and I'm gonna run it down the back of the grill, and then we'll connect these two wires. I'm gonna use some little wire nuts and some black tape on mine, because I like taping it. Even though I use wire nuts, I like taping it so the nuts won't fall off. But while I'm sitting here, I gotta go on and strip this wire a little bit. So now we're ready to start installing our wiring harness. So guys, the battery's on the passenger side of this little truck. That's why I turned this light this way. And I'm gonna start with the end that connects to the light. Comes up to your battery where it's got your fuse, and you connect it to your battery with your relay. And then I'm gonna run the wire to the back of the engine and come down the firewall right here under this. It's already got a wiring harness run right there, and I zip tied it, and then we'll go down and we'll go through the firewall to put the switch inside the truck. When you're running your wire, you want to make sure you run it to where it ain't going to be up against nothing hot. It's going to burn your wire, melt your wire or anything. And it's kind of hard to get your hands down in there to get it run where you want it. But we're going to get it. Alright, so I got that wire. Now what we're going to do with this leftover wire, I'm going to fold it up neatly, and we're going to zip tie it somewhere where it can't fall down into nothing. But right now I'm finna go get my wire nuts, and we're going to connect the wire down here so I can pull it up in there neatly and zip tie it out of the way. Alright. So guys, like I said, I got some wire nuts right here I'm finna use on this, and then I'm going to tape it. It's better if you got some electrical grease to put on this before you put the wire nuts on, but I just looked and I thought I had some, but I don't guess I do, so I'm finna just put them on here. But electrical grease would keep that from ever rusting. And the reason I put tape on even after I put a wire nut on, I like taping it so them nuts won't never fall off or anything. Now, that's just everybody's preference on how they want to do this, but I always put the nuts on there if I got the nuts. Sometimes if I ain't got the nuts, I'll just twist the wire together. But that electrical grease is some good stuff. I'm gonna give y'all a tip while I'm doing this. That electrical grease, and you got light bulbs on your utility trailers and stuff, if you pull that light bulb out, smear a little bit of that electrical grease on there, put that light bulb back in, it'll keep that from rusting, and that bulb won't lose connection. There's a little bracket right there. I'm gonna run a zip tie around just to hold this wire up. Like I said, watch what you zip tie to. Don't zip tie to something that's don't need to be zip tied to, or something that's gonna get hot. Alright guys, now what we're gonna do, all this extra wire coming from the light, I'm gonna just make it in a figure 8 right here. Take up all the slack. I'm gonna put a zip tie around it. Then I'm gonna take another zip tie, and I'm gonna zip tie it right over here behind this battery, out of the way, to where it can't fall down into something or get in the fan on your engine. Or and that's right there out of the way. And also, while I'm doing this, this is the relay. I'm gonna just zip tie my relay right there. Now you can actually take a bolt and bolt it somewhere, but just zip tie and hold that little plastic relay right there forever. Zip tie ever breaks, I just put another zip tie on it. But you just get it down in there somewhere neat where it ain't in the way. It ain't gonna be up against something vibrating. But this again is everybody's preferences and what you're installing it on. Now that's neatly out of the way, but now we ain't hooking the battery up yet until we run our wire to the inside for the switch. Now I'm gonna just run it right around this fender well. You got 8 foot, so you got plenty of wire here. Now as I'm running it, I'm gonna zip tie it to this wiring harness that's already on the back of this firewall back here, just so it can't fall down into anything. You just lay them wires up in there, they gonna fall down and short out and get into stuff. Now before I do another zip tie, I'm gonna go in the inside. You can unplug this switch right here. So I'm gonna go in the inside, I'm gonna unplug it right here. Unplug the switch here, and I'm gonna take it to the inside of my truck and see if I can find where it goes in the firewall. And I'll try to get my camera in there to show y'all. Most trucks have some type of rubber plug. Sometimes you may have to cut that rubber plug, a little hole in it to run your wire through. But to make sure I can put this switch where I want it and I got enough wire here, I ain't gonna zip tie no more right here, because I may have to run another angle to give me a little more distance. I ain't gonna have to run another angle. I may have to untie that wire I just tied up there, let it come on this way and tie it up over here somewhere, that way to give me more wire this way. But I'm gonna get in there and see. All right guys, so Right here's the brake paddle in the truck. But right over here, you see that little plug right there? You can pull that rubber plug and that leaves you a hole to go through the firewall. So that's where my wire is going to be run through, and you'll see me back on the outside connecting it. But most trucks have some type of rubber plug, and some of them don't pull out. Some of them they where you have to take a knife or something and cut the rubber. But most of them have a place that you can do this without having to drill a hole through the metal firewall. Alright guys, I got ahead of myself just a little bit. I'm going to have to cut my wire back loose where I zip tied it over here. So even though I got 8 foot of wire, I'm going to need this to run a little further that way. So I have enough wire to reach my plug in there. So we're still going to re-zip tie this extra wire. And after I see how much I need right here, which I can't get more than that because that's got to reach the battery. Cut that zip tie, put it back there. That's why I stopped zip tying and decided I better wait to make sure I had enough. And now I'm going to have enough. So now where the wire from the switch ran through that hole I was showing y'all, we're going to plug this right back up. And now we can zip tie it to our wiring harness and work ourselves back that way and take all of our slack up on that end. That way it'll look good and neat under here. It may be a 2006 model truck, but I like my stuff neat. I like using plenty of zip ties because I don't mind falling down in the way of nothing. Or if I'm ever under here working on something else, I don't want it in my way. So now you see what I mean. I can work that slack right on back around this way. And get this relay switch where I can actually, I'm going to zip tie it right here to the end of this battery because I don't care about it being bolted. It ain't got to be bolted. Just something to keep it out of the way. It's got a little hole in it where you could bolt it to your frame or something if you wanted to, so choose to. Now we're going to zip tie all this extra wire right here behind the battery again. Just got ahead of myself. Y'all can see that's neatly out of the way right there. So now I'm going to hook the red to the hot. Like I said, this comes with an inline fuse, so you can hook these straight to the battery. Guys, we got the hot one hooked up. Now we're going to hook the ground up. Now guys, I'm going to give y'all a tip right here while I'm doing this. Y'all see this grease on these battery ends? If you would take just some regular old wheel bearing grease, any kind of grease out of your grease guns, and rub on your battery cable ends like that, just take a little glob and just rub it all on there. That will keep your battery cables from corroding. You will never have any corrosion on your battery cable ends if you'll keep grease just applied on them. Now, yeah, it's messy when you have to work on it like I am right now, but I don't never have no problems with no battery cables corroding coming off. Just keep your good rag handy when you're working on, keep the grease off your hands. Guys, we should be ready to just stick our switch on in there where we want it, and we should be in business. Alright guys, I forgot to mention, if you putting this little bracket right here on something metal, it also in the package come with these little rubbers that you can put between that bracket and your metal. But I didn't put it on my truck here because that's plastic. So I didn't need the rubber in between there, it and the metal, because it's got plastic there, so that serves a good same purpose. So let's move in here to the inside, and we're going to stick our switch on, and then we're going to come back and see if we got fire in the hole. I hope y'all can see good enough. I just run my switch and I'm going to put it right here. Now these switches are got sticky tape on them. You pull it on, you stick them where you want it. But if you'll take you just some regular old rubbing alcohol and rub where you going to stick it and clean it real good. Especially in your vehicle where you done been using Armor All and stuff. You want to make sure it ain't no kind of oiliness on there or what. Clean it real good and let it dry good. And like I said, I'm going to stick that switch right there. So now let's go see if we got fire in the hole. Now guys, looks like we got a LED light mounted on our 2006 Nissan Frontier there. I'm gonna walk around there, I'm gonna shut the hood and hit the switch and turn it off and turn it back on for y'all. But guys, that right there is the 22-inch curvature called the curved auto light bar. It's 22 inches, 24 inches over the brackets and all. 200 watts, 20,000 lumens, IP68 waterproof, spot and flood light combo fisheye lens. It's called the heat shrink fins on back. It's good aluminum heavy duty light. And that's from AUTOSAVER88. If you're interested in this light or any of the AUTOSAVER88 products, there's an affiliated link in the description below that'll carry you straight to this light. Also, I just put on the other light on my tractor. It wasn't the curved. You may want to check that video out. I'll attach it above. But guys, I'm going to get out here tonight and we're going to turn this light on and let y'all see what it looks like at night. What kind of light it puts out, how far, how wide. And I'm probably going to put a piece of the clip in of the light that's on my tractor so we can see the difference between the curvature and the straight and see what kind of light beam difference it is. Alright guys, now I'm sitting out here in the truck and this here is the curved 200 watt 20,000 lumens that we just put on this little Nissan. And that's what it looks like. Now, I can't tell if y'all can compare them looking on the camera, but I actually think this one here does give a little more light off to the sides than the straight one did. I'm gonna get out of the truck and let y'all see. But on both of them gives more light off to the sides than what it looks like through this camera. Cause right through here, it looks real dark on this camera and it's actually a good bit of light coming out to the side. But maybe that's something y'all can use to compare them, give you an idea. But guys, I hope you liked this little video on installing this light. Maybe some of you been looking at LED lights, can't decide which ones you want. This will help you out trying to decide. Like I said, it's a good heavy duty light from AUTOSAVER88. Heavy made. It ain't got cheap thin brackets. I know the one on my side beside, I don't know what brand it is. I got it from Wally World, but it ain't near about as good as this light's here. Brackets ain't as heavy duty. Now it's been a good light, but it ain't as heavy duty made as this light. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped someone out. If it did, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't never subscribed, please reach down there and hit that subscribe button. It's free, don't cost you a thing, but it will help me out in growing this channel. But thanks for watching. God bless. Y'all have a great day. See y'all next time.